What a fantastic first episode. The Chicago Bears made their debut on Hard Knocks tonight, and I want to give you guys a little bit of a reaction to what we saw. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears video, and if you guys want more of these reactions, let me know in the comments down below. I'll probably do more of these after every single episode if you guys show love to this one, so let me know if I should keep on doing them. But that was so much fun, man. I mean, this is why I've wanted the Chicago Bears on Hard Knocks for a long time. I know that Bears fans have talked about distractions ruining the team, but our team has been bad anyways without Hard Knocks being there, right? So I don't think Hard Knocks is really going to destroy our chemistry or our vibes. If anything, it's going to add to them and show the national audience what we are building here in Chicago. And just seeing our team out there in front of all of America, all the behind the scenes footage, seeing guys, you know, even the practice squad guys that are probably going to be on the practice squad, like Theo Benedict, who got, you know, a lot of coverage in this episode, and some of the backups getting a little bit of their shine in this episode, was so cool because, you know, if you're not a diehard Bears fan, you probably would not even know their names or their stories, but those stories are being told now for all of America to see because of Hard Knocks. So I had a lot of fun watching this episode. I've never really done episode reactions on this channel in the past, so a little bit new to how to structure this video, but I'll probably just go through my favorite scenes. I took a few notes while I was watching this just so I could have, you know, topics to talk about so I don't forget everything that happened in the episode. But I want to begin by talking about the intro to the episode where they showed Caleb Williams being drafted by the Bears and transitioned to the Hard Knocks theme song, which I absolutely love. That theme song, one of the most epic theme songs to exist in all of TV. And then they dubbed scenes of George Halas, Dick Butkus, some Chicago Bears legends, you know, in the background on the skyscrapers in Chicago, and showed some of the current players as well. Like, absolutely loved that intro. We're gonna be seeing that intro before every single episode, and they did a fantastic job editing that. So, you know, that really gave me chills. It really set the tone for the episode and for the rest of the series. And they began by showing a party at Matt Eberflus's house, it seemed like, where a bunch of Bears coaches and Bears personnel were there. Their kids were there, just having a blast, you know, letting loose a little bit before the season starts. And I want to say this image of Eberflus and Poles together with the American flag in the background with their shades on is so freaking cool. I mean, they look like they're running for president in this picture, and I would definitely vote for them for president this year in America. So, you know, that was a pretty cool scene. And then they eventually transitioned into talking about Caleb Williams and how much pressure he has on him, and how so many quarterbacks before him have failed in Chicago. We have never had a 4,000-yard passer. Every Bears fan knows that by now, but maybe some of the national audience doesn't. So, you know, Hard Knocks talked about the failures of our previous quarterbacks, and then they started comparing him to Michael Jordan. One of the, I think it was Danny Parkins actually, it sounded like his voice, you know, kind of saying that he was the biggest thing. He could be the biggest thing since Michael Jordan. And then the scene that followed after that, man, gave me absolute freaking chills. Okay, they showed Caleb Williams, you know, kind of walking around, warming up with the Bulls theme song, the serious theme song in the background. Okay, that was just, again, sent chills down my spine. I really wish I could show that to you guys on this YouTube video, but if you guys have not seen it, look it up on Twitter, on YouTube, because I would get demonetized if I showed this on here. Any clips I probably can't show on my YouTube channel, but go give that a watch, because that was a piece of fantastic editing. And I know some people maybe won't like that they're comparing a rookie that's never played a snap to Michael Jordan, the greatest to ever do it. But guys, it's a television show, okay? Obviously they're gonna make things a little bit extra dramatic, and just that scene, I feel like it was worth it to, you know, to do that and put that in the episode, because that was so freaking cool. Another really cool scene was when Nick Saban came into Halas Hall. The greatest college football coach of all time was invited into Halas Hall. He's a mentor of Matt Eberflus. So seeing the conversation between, you know, Nick Saban and Matt Eberflus was also just really special. And just, you know, hearing what Nick Saban had to say, he said some really important stuff, man. Like some very, you know, useful tips in coaching quarterbacks. Like he was talking about the development aspect. You know, developing quarterbacks is so damn important that we have too high expectations for rookie quarterbacks and we give up on them, you know, a little bit too soon. And he was also talking about how some football players are just different than others. Okay, they want to be the best. They want to, you know, really be special. And hopefully Caleb is one of those guys. Nick Saban also talked about wanting to be a transformational leader and not a transactional leader, which I thought was another really important piece of advice. I think it's so cool that Eberflus is willing to learn from guys like this, guys that are some of the best to ever do it, and really pick their brains, because it's going to make Eberflus a lot better of a coach himself. So that whole scene was really damn cool. I also love the Eberflus makeover scene where they, showed him getting his hair cut, getting his beard trimmed, talking with the Bears barber, and, just kind of showing how much he's transformed as a, not only like appearance wise, but also in terms of his media presence too, right? Like Eberflus has a much different swag to him right now, where even when he's talking with the media, he's much more confident, he's much more prepared for their questions. There was actually an article written about this by, I forgot who, I think somebody from ESPN, where they kind of talked in depth about Eberflus's like transformation as a public speaker. Like he actually took lessons from public speaking experts on how to improve at public speaking, how to really be more concise, because us Bears fans know he used to ramble all day nonstop at these pressers last year and really not give a proper answer, but he's been much better at doing that so far this year. And if you look good, you feel good, right? So I think the transformation, even though it doesn't matter that much at all, I think that's really cool for him too, that he actually looks a lot better. He looks a lot more presentable because, again, you look good, you feel good. Some of the best coaches, like a Matt LaFleur, like a Kyle Shanahan, they look good, they take care of themselves. But obviously, a guy like Bill Belichick does not really care about his looks, so it's not like it matters that much. But I thought it was a pretty funny scene to talk about. And then they also talked about, some of the lesser known guys on this roster, like Theo Benedict, the guy from Canada who, sang in front of all of the Chicago Bears players and then dropped his trousers and showed off the that was a funny scene. But it was just so sad to see him go down, in the Hall of Fame game, which I didn't even know about that, guys, that he got injured in that game and he's probably going to be out for the entire training camp, because unfortunately he's not going to make the team now, right? Because training camp was his only time to really prove himself. So, it really shows you how brutal, how cutthroat the NFL is, where fun stories like that, fun guys like that you want to root for, they don't get very many opportunities in the NFL, and then sometimes injuries take away those opportunities. So that definitely sucks. I do want to also point out the DJ Moore contract extension scene, because that was pretty cool, where Ryan Poles really was discussing with Kevin Warren why they want to extend DJ Moore. He's been so reliable, his guaranteed money was up, which is why they want to give him a new deal. And I didn't even realize that he was the highest paid Chicago Bear now in history, not from a total contract perspective, because that's still Khalil Mack, I believe, but from a per year basis, DJ Moore is the highest paid player in Chicago Bears history, which is pretty freaking cool. And his reaction to getting that contract, being so humble with it, just going out there and telling his teammates, like not really making a big deal of it, I think it just shows you like how special of a human being DJ Moore actually is. Like, this guy's fully team first. He's 100% family first. Like, he cares about his family a lot more than himself. And I just think that his priorities are really in the right place as a human being, let alone a football player. So, like, really happy to see a human being like DJ Moore being rewarded with that contract. That was pretty cool to see the behind the scenes of that. And they also showed a lot of scenes of Jonathan Owens supporting Simone Biles, obviously the greatest gymnast of all time. Showed scenes of Simone Biles competing and him, kind of watching on TV. I thought that was pretty cool as well to see him supporting his wife, just being super encouraging. Like, it really shows you the type of person that Jonathan Owens is. And I really like that we get this behind the scenes access to seeing what type of people all these players on a roster are, because we know what type of football players they are by seeing them play on the football field, but we don't really get to see the behind the scenes stories of these guys, especially the back of the roster guys like a Theo Benedict or even like a Jonathan Owens, right? Like, Jonathan Owens is a backup safety. Like, we would not even know, much. I guess we would know about him because the whole world is talking about him and Simone Biles, but some of the other backups, like, we would not really know their stories without them being on Hard Knocks. So I think that's a really cool, opportunity that the Chicago Bears are getting by being on this series. But yeah, leave your comments down below. What you guys think was the best scene in this episode? I'll be back with more episode reactions in the future if you guys show love to this video. But yeah, really had a fun time watching this, guys. Like, I've always wanted the Chicago Bears to be on this series because I just love the Hard Knocks, editing and like how dramatic they make everything look, how they, really take you into a behind the scenes view of what's going on. And I feel like they did a really good job of showing that in the first episode so far. So leave your comments down below. As always, bear down.